Hi everybody, this is Elgin Subwaysurfer Bolling, your creative caricature marketing consultant, and today I want to talk about the subject of creating your own comic and why you should. First, let's define what I'm not going to do. There are many, numerous, hundreds, thousands of sites online that tell you the ins and outs of making a comic book, and they go into penciling techniques, they go into panel designs, they go into breakdowns, they go into spotting blacks and all the whole 9 yards, and the average person who kind of wants to start out doing it gets so discombobulated with everything that needs to be done to do it right that they end up not doing it. I know, because I was one of those people. So let's make making comics simple by breaking it down into what it really is, at least what I feel it is. All a comic is a story. That's it. A comic is a story told sequentially with pictures. That's all it is. Now, when most people think about comics, they think about superhero comics, men in tights, and women too, Dungeons and Dragons, demons, and superheroes, and all of that stuff. And so, if that's how you define a comic, then yeah, it's going to be pretty daunting to think that you could actually create your own, because you say, well, I don't have that kind of writing ability in me. Few people do. But the one thing that we all have in common is that we all have lived through things, we all have seen things, we all have experienced things, and even though it might have been the same things, we all filter it through our own individual personalities, and it's that X factor of the personality that will make our story stand out. So you've got a story to tell. There's a story inside of you, and I encourage you so much to tap into those stories and tell it to the world. And when you do that, when you have the courage to do that, and it does take courage, and I will talk about this in subsequent videos on this subject while I say that, while it does take courage, you're going to find out, if you do have the courage to tell your story, that it's going to resonate with some people. I know, because it happened to me. Here's a case in point. This is the iPad. Well, this is iPad case. This is iPad number 1, that came out. And as you may know, it costs $500, and it did all kinds of wonderful things. And I got this particular iPad in 2010 when the technology was brand spanking new, but I didn't pay for it, folks. I got this thing as a result of doing a comic. I'll show you the cover of it. Okay. This is the cover of it. Now, this was an autobiographical comic. You can find it, by searching online here on my channel, for this comic. I think it's called How to Deal with Bullies. What this comic was about, it depicts an incident that happened with me when I was 11 years old, with my father, where my father saw that I was getting beat up by bullies and wanted to teach me the martial arts. Taught me out of a book. I won't give away the storyline to you, but it was a very personal story. The moral of it was standing up for yourself, and it just really talks about the lessons that I learned and the things that I experienced as my father teaching me. But to make a long story short, this story was submitted to a site called AuthorStream, which at the time, and I still believe they're doing it, enabled you to upload PowerPoint presentations for free if they were under like a certain length. I'm getting ahead of myself with that. At any rate, I made this comic originally for my father on Father's Day because I wanted to give him a gift that was something more than a tie. And I had this thing all together in a PowerPoint presentation already because that's how I made the comic. I uploaded it to authorstream.com, and overnight this thing resonated with so many hundreds of people that I became a winner in a contest that they had that I didn't even know they were having. Didn't have a clue that the contest was going on, but there was a lot of stiff competition, but there was something about this comic story that was so compelling and so real, and that it resonated with all of these people that they voted me as the top PowerPoint presenter for this comic. So what I want to point out in this first video is that people are waiting for your story, and they'll reward you for telling it. And all a comic is a narrative. It's a story done in pictures depicting a situation or an event. And I'm going to tell you my method for doing it in subsequent videos, so stay tuned.